Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Sarcasm Speaks. It's Jared and Bob here. We are sort of wrapping up the RBC Canadian Open here. You want to talk about two bums that just don't want to win. Sam Burns just put his eagle putt like fucking 15 feet beyond the hole. This is the fourth playoff hole, I think. Um, I don't know. We'll see if they figure it out or not. But it's been the playoff at least. And again, I've barely watched any of this tournament all weekend. Um, but you got Sam Burns and Ryan Fox in a playoff right now. I mean, it's cool because they went to a playoff and it's yeah, bonus golf. And I think it's two of the last 3 years now, right? The RBC has gone to a playoff.
Yeah,
I think
2023 was the one when Adam Hadwin got taken out by the security guard.
yeah, Nick Taylor hit like the 75-foot putt. Um, Yeah, and Hadwin got tackled by the security guard. And last year, obviously Rory won. I think he kind of ran away with it. Um, and now we've got another playoff. So, albeit a little less exciting because it's Sam Burns and Ryan Fox, and Sam Burns just lipped out his birdie putt
Yeah,
again.
so I mean that's over. Ryan Fox won.
Yeah,
Sam
I
Burns should
mean,
have won on the first hole. He had a 5-footer.
yeah.
Should have
And
hit it. It should have been it.
right before that they go I mean if you want to call it the announcer's curse you whatever, but they're like, oh yeah, Sam Burns, the number one putter on tour this season, has a 5-foot putt, and then he fucking misses it. So now Ryan Fox has two putts to win from what, like 8 feet.
Yeah, I mean it's and that's the part that sucks.
And
Is
he missed the first one.
yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean you miss it, but
Yeah,
fine.
I
But
mean
like
he's
that's
got like a
that's the shit that sucks is
6-inch
like
putt.
you know. I know everyone's bitching about it, so I don't really want to like echo that because I don't really care. It's like they're like, oh, the playoff, change the tees, change the hole. It's like, dude, like you can't just do whatever you want whenever you want. Like,
Yeah,
you, like they do have rules, they do have setup. It makes sense. They don't want people shuffling back and forth, whatever.
right, right.
But
I
yeah, I
mean,
mean,
most places is just the 18th, right? It's usually only
yeah, because they don't want. So it just depends. Well, it depends on the layout of the course because they don't want
yeah.
people really like everyone's already at 18, so they don't want to move away from that too much. Um, but I don't know if everywhere's got like a nice loop that they can do.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of anticlimactic when it goes to I mean this is any playoff. This is any golf playoff. It's like
Yeah.
um the players was a really nice one when it went to Monday and it was a 3-hole aggregate and JJ
Yeah.
Spawn made like a fucking 7 on the first playoff hole. It's like that was
Yeah.
it. That's over.
Yeah.
And they still have to play 2 more holes. And we
Right.
did this the next day.
Right.
Um yeah, so then to have Sam Burns 3-putt, like it's like you should have won, then you 3-putted, and it's like that's that.
But
Okay.
then even on was it the second playoff hole? Uh Sam Burns, like he didn't hit a shank, but was that the one that he hit and it rolled all the way back? Like it landed on the
I
green.
think that was the third hole.
That was the third. Okay, so that was the third playoff hole. The ball comes all the way back off the green, almost goes in the water. Um, was it the first playoff hole then that Ryan Fox was in the bunker?
It's a
He had
T,
a
yeah.
yeah. It's just it was like I said, it was just lackluster, right? Because it was like, oh, the first playoff hole, Ryan Fox is in the bunker off the tee. You're like, okay, all right. I mean, these guys are professionals, so they should be able to figure it out. But still, you would think, all right, Sam Burns probably going to come away with that, right? And then he has the 5-foot putt to win it, and he misses it. So they go to the second playoff hole, And that's when Sam Burns hits his approach shot onto the green, rolls it off, almost puts it in the water. No, sorry, that was the third. Whatever. Who cares? On the third, he almost puts it in the water, but then he chips it to like 4 feet and then he hits the putt. And then Ryan Fox has to hit a putt and he misses it. Or he lips out, like he just kisses the edge of the cup and then taps it in. Then they go to the fourth playoff hole. And it's like, and Sam Burns had just had a putt for eagle. They said blew it, you know, 15 feet past the hole and then three putted. And then Ryan Fox wins.
I mean, it's playoffs, overtimes, like because I always remember like NHL. It just seems like a lot of times there's usually some bullshit goal like a minute and a half into fucking overtime. Now
Yeah.
playoffs are different 'cause it's still 5-on-5 and it's a full period. It doesn't go to the shootout, so they play a little differently, but it's like, yeah, you wait 15 minutes for them to clean the ice, then they go to the fucking, then they get out there, and then it's just like some random bad hop.
Right.
That's that.
Like my thing too with overtime stuff, right? If you want to, make it specific to golf with the playoff holes. Um, I like generally, right, playoff holes. I think they're exciting, but there's a different. So if you just told someone, "Oh, Ryan Fox won in the fourth playoff hole," right? And they're like, "Oh, wow, that must have been great." Like, no, it wasn't because in this case, it was neither guy could
It's just a
fucking put
pillow
the ball
fight.
in the cup, right? It was a pillow fight. It wasn't like, on the second hole or the first hole, let's start there, right? Like Ryan Fox fucks up, Sam Burns hits it on the green, but then Ryan Fox hits a shot out of the bunker to like 7 feet and then stays in it, ties it, lives again to the next one. And then Ryan Fox goes in and then Sam Burns hits like a 22 footer to go in to force a third playoff hole. It was just like, no, they just kept missing putts and hitting bad shots.
Well, that's the thing. Playoffs in
Like,
that's the hard part with golf, right? Um, you are subject to the environment. Like every other sport, generally speaking, has a controlled environment or like one or two variables that change.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, in golf, it's like you can't really like force the issue a
Yeah.
lot of time, or yeah, it's like very limited when you can do that or when it strategically works. So yeah, it's like it's hard to go out there and make birdies. Like
Yeah.
it just is. So yeah, to get like excitement out of a playoff is not it. In hindsight, it always ends up being pretty lackluster because even if you consider golf like a game of minimizing mistakes, well, whoever makes the first mistake usually loses.
Right.
Not, I don't know. I mean, someone would have to have the numbers. It's like how many times is the playoff won with birdie, or how many times is the playoff won with par? Like,
Right.
do you just survive or do you win it? It doesn't. I don't know. It's hard to say. And then it's like
Right.
when it's at par five, par four. Like, who knows?
Yeah. 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 It's tough. But um, so what else is tough actually is I don't want to count this as a loser lap because it was one of those like unexpected. But we do have to accept somewhat defeat because John Brenkus died. So for anyone out there like, who the hell is John Brenkus? He was the guy from ESPN Sports Science. So like all those like whatever you want, whether you want to call them goofy or cool, like however you feel about them. I personally liked them. Um, but John Brenkus worked for ESPN. Like I said, he was into this program called Sports Science where they broke down sports um by like physics, force, acceleration, like all that kind of stuff, like the real like nerdy science aspect of sports. I remember vividly one episode where they compared Ray Lewis to a SWAT team, like breaching a door. and they had, what, I don't know what the standard is, whether it's two, three, four guys on the little barrel thing, and they breach a door. And I forget exactly what the KPAs, right? The kilopascals or however they measure force. Um, but they had the SWAT team, they busted through the door and it was whatever. Then they had Ray Lewis run full speed into a door, and it completely ripped the door off the hinges. And I think it was like three times as hard as like four guys swinging one of those like SWAT battle ram door things. Um, and it was just kind of like wild to imagine like getting hit by Ray Lewis is three times as hard as getting hit by a fucking, a door breach, right? By a SWAT team. So, but yeah, I mean, it was kind of stuff like that, right? This was probably like the 2000s, maybe the early 2010s, but probably mostly throughout the 2000s when it was big. Um, but yeah, he killed himself too, which kind of sucks. He was only 54 years old. So that's kind of why I've said like it's not really one that any of us probably would have had because it's fucking John Brenkus, right? Like he's young and he's not a rock star, right? That does all kinds of crazy drugs and stuff. Um, but yeah, tough one. Tough one for John Brenkus. Did you ever watch that show?
I didn't know it was a show. I thought it was just a segment on SportsCenter. So no, I did not.
Oh no, it was its own legit TV
Nope,
show.
not once. Didn't even know it was a show.
Yeah. I liked it. Like I said, I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah. So another one for the death pool that we didn't get. Um, Let me see here. All right. I got one that I think is interesting. I just a general question for you. How long did it take you to get your TSA pre-check?
Um, 6 weeks
Okay. Does Michaela have
ish.
it?
She does now.
How long did it take her to get it?
About a day and a half.
Okay. So this is what I want to get into. Um, I think that you and I, are potentially on made our way onto a domestic terrorism watch list because this is how I'm going to tie this in. Um, Tulsi Gabbard kind of blew the whistle a little bit on Twitter with Michael Schellenberger like 2 weeks ago, I think, saying that the previous administration, anybody they had a like a mandate through whatever FBI, CIA, NSA, like all like the alphabet soup, right? All those guys that anyone that was outwardly speaking against the COVID vaccine during that time was put on a domestic watch list. That's a fact. We know that for sure because Tulsi Gabbard showed the information that this is what happened. Like millions of Americans that just talked about it were put on a domestic watch list. So I'm doing a little bit of Pepe Sylvia here because that came out at a different time, but Amy also just got TSA pre-check, right? So um she got it like a couple, like maybe last week, I think. And it took about a day and a half for her to get it. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I think it was, so maybe it was last week. I think it was later in the week. I saw the thing that Tulsi Gabbard put out with Michael Schellenberger and all that stuff. And I was like, huh, I wonder if I made it on a domestic watch list. And it took 6 weeks to get TSA pre-check because it was one of those where I don't, I'm just, again, I'm making a lot of assumptions here doing my Pepe Sylvia thing, but it could be as simple as it was just a little flag and that it's not an automatic acceptance where like a human has to pull up my file and like verify that like, oh yeah, this guy's just a dumbass. He just is an idiot with a podcast and said a lot of really dumb shit. So he's on this watch list. So we're keeping tabs on him or whatever. That's what I think. And again, could totally be making it up, right? Well, not could. I am making it up. I have no proof, right? But I do know for a fact, again, that the Biden administration had a directive to the alphabet soup to put anyone that was going against the COVID vaccine on a domestic watch list.
So I would like to think that we're not nearly as important as it might seem. Um, I know that they can check. So work with what I'm about to say.
Yeah,
I know that they can figure out who's who and from anything, like
yeah,
really, really anything.
right.
But someone would have had to take the time to connect like our YouTube flag because I assume it has to stem from that, right?
Yeah, because we got dinged on YouTube probably
So
twice.
so there would have to be a connection from the YouTube flag. Someone would have had to come back, verify that it was you and I through like government names, right?
Yeah, because we don't post our full-on government names anywhere
Right.
on the show.
And
It's just Jared
so
and Bob.
someone would have had to have made that connection. So that like that's the thing. Not only did we would we if we because we got the strikes and the flags and the warnings and whatever.
Yeah.
So those would have
Yeah, we
had
had
to
one real strike, one sort of strike.
yep, and then one came back, I think. But
Yeah, and
so
then one
someone would have
appeal
had
that
to
we
have
won.
found that stuff, traced us back to our legal identities,
Yeah.
made that connection in that database so that when we applied for a TSA pre-check, it would have had to pop. I'm very optimistic that we're not that important. I would like to think that since you went right before Thanksgiving and I went right after Christmas, that timing came into play.
Yeah, it could have been.
Um, I would also like to think going through like background checks and whatever, like again, someone probably had to like verify because it probably didn't just like skate through. Um, as far as federal is concerned, because
Right.
federal can see everything. Like you
Right.
took a shit in the wrong place and they know. Um, so yeah, I would like to think that we are not significant enough to have had someone make that connection, verify it. Because think about the technology that it would take. It would take facial recognition, right?
Well, yeah, you could do facial recognition probably pretty easily. But then the other thing for me in particular, it would be very easy because YouTube, I don't imagine that's something that the government actively like seeks. I think YouTube can probably just pull a list, right? And like pre-populate a list of all strikes that were issued and just send that to the government related to COVID, right? Because you can filter out what the strikes were for, right? So I'm
Right.
assuming that YouTube probably just like at the end of every month, right? They pulled a list of everyone that got flagged for COVID at the time and just sent it off to the government, right? To the alphabet soup, and let them do their thing. So for me on my end, that would be very easy for YouTube and the government to identify because my IP address is tied to
Yeah.
like my account, my uploading, my stuff like that. So again, for me, it would be very simple for them to figure out who I
Yeah.
was because my IP address is there.
I would like to think to have true, real, because that's the thing is if you're gonna flag people, it's gonna be in a database and it's gonna affect their eligibility for TSA PreCheck and licensing, whatever. That means someone has to actually go through the work and do it.
Yeah.
And it's like we're not that important. So
Yeah.
was someone
Certainly
what?
not.
So like did someone get a report of our strikes and our whatever to then pull up our video, screenshot it, put it into facial recognition, get matches and then go to, our profiles and then like be like, oh yeah, yeah, these two morons talked shit about
Yeah.
really everything, but some stuff that we didn't like.
Yeah.
I would really,
There
really
was a
like to
thing they talked
think,
about sandwiches too. We got to put them on the list for that.
yeah, we didn't like their take on open faced breads. So I would really like to think that we're reaching a little bit to say that we're on some type of watch list.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is a
Because like
reach. Like
how
I'm not
bad like that's it. So we shit on interns last week. How bad of an intern do you need to be and be like, hey, this YouTube video got like 15 views. We need you to go in, listen to it, see what they said,
I
verify
don't
their
think anyone
identities.
listens to it. That's what I mean. I don't think anyone actually listens. I
Oh, they
think
just take it
you
like
just
YouTube
take
flagged it.
YouTube flagged it. That's all they care about.
Oh, but either way, but again, you have to at least get an image to verify identities.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no, yes, me, they would have to,
Right.
because my
Right.
name, I'm not registered on anything.
Right.
Like, I don't even think I'm like logged into Zoom. I'm pretty sure this is just like in as a guest.
Yeah. Could be.
Yeah, because it asked me to sign in, and I just skip a step and I just hit join meeting. I'm not even logged in. Like that would take not a lot. That would take actual work for
Yeah.
a federal employee to match my identity to the video and then flag it so that when I apply for TSA pre-check, I'm guessing timing of, I'm
Yeah.
guessing that they were backed up with requests. Um, I was coming off of Christmas, so they probably didn't do anything for like 4 or 5 straight days, so that they were behind and there was
Right.
an influx of people.
Right.
And I'm sure there was a massive I mean, Thanksgiving is the biggest travel day, and you went right before, right after. When did you go?
Yeah, I think right before me, either before or after. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
so you
Nah,
went,
I think I went the Friday after Thanksgiving.
so there you go.
I think it
You
was either the
have,
Friday or Saturday after Thanksgiving, I think.
so there you go. You have a backlog from before the holiday with a
Right.
bunch of people that just traveled and go, fuck this.
Right.
And then there were a bunch of applications coming through.
Yeah, I went the day after Thanksgiving. I
Yeah.
just checked my calendar.
And that's the thing, I went like the Friday after fucking New Year's or something.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's very logical and way more likely. That is way more likely the story. But it's fun to think that we might be on a domestic watch list.
Not important enough. I'm just not. You can't tell me otherwise.
Yeah, when did Michaela get it?
I mean, she
Like a couple weeks
probably
ago?
went 2 weeks ago and got it
Okay.
like again, like three fucking like two. No, she went on a Friday and got the email on a Sunday.
Yeah, I think Amy went last Tuesday and she got the email on Thursday
Yeah.
that you got it. She was like, "Oh, I got my TSA pre-check." I was like, "What? You just went." It took me
Yeah,
six
I mean,
fucking weeks.
so if you go during like because this is a dead time, this is a little bit of a dead time. It would
Yeah,
be after the rush post February. I'm sorry, April vacation, which that's localized. So even like
right,
spring break is March.
right.
So it's after all that, clear of all that, and people probably weren't like. I mean, some people were probably like, "Oh shit, summer's coming! Like, let's get organized."
Yeah,
But the other thing too, though, if they're squeaky clean, like we're cool here.
yeah.
And again, talking federally, like
Well,
nothing
that's
would
what I
pop up in
mean.
a
Like,
like nothing would pop up in a Corey for you or I, but
no, nothing. Like, it's not like anything on an actual report. It's just it's a watch list. Like, it's something that only TSA, if they were looking for, would probably see, right? Or NSA or any of those things. But again, it's one of those like you just have to wait for a human to verify you, not an automatic verify, right? Like when
Yeah.
they apply, there's literally nothing there. So they're like, yeah, no, no, that's an automatic okay, right? Automatic acceptance. Like a machine just does that versus
But
like have to
also,
wait for a person to do it.
so you're also very similar to I am. When that application comes through, I don't remember what was on it. I really, really don't. It may this what I'm about to say may not have actually happened, but like sometimes they ask these questions and I'm like, I don't know, I'll just fucking answer it whichever which way. And
Yeah.
and I'll figure it out later. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
that may have they like that might have been the flag, right?
Right, right,
Like
right,
that
right.
because that's contradictory. Because I know she asked me something and I said, yeah. And I'm like, I don't know if that's correct.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, it could have been as simple as if they have any questions in there that's like, have you ever been convicted or anything or what? Like,
Well, they
well,
definitely
no,
ask
like,
that. They definitely
yeah,
ask if you've been
but it's not of
convicted.
anything. It's of whatever crime. I don't know, because for again, like obviously I got arrested when we were in college, but it was a quaff, right? So it's one of
Yep.
those where it never pops up on a Corey. It never does anything like that. But if you ran a bot or something like that, or like,
Well, that's the thing.
the
Federal can
federal
see it. Police
government
can see
looks to
it.
everything, they
Yeah.
can see that I got arrested when, Christ, was that 2012? Um, but other than that, like they're the only ones that could see it. So like that could hang it up too. That could have been the
Yep.
6 week delay. That it's more likely, right?
Yeah.
It's more likely that that caused. So I might have the right idea, right? Like it was a flag for a human to have to look at the file, right? But because of that and not because we were on a watch list. Like
Yeah.
I said, it's just fun to say that we could have been potentially on a watch list.
Because Jones was on that episode too.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm sure Jones has had pre-check. He travels
Oh
frequently
yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
And he's a government employee,
Yeah.
right? Technically.
Yeah, I think state government employee.
Oh, state. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he worked for the federal government for 10 years in the Air Force.
Yep. And he would have had a similar potential red flag.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hey, who knows, right?
Whatever. I got it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I got it, right? Like it's fine. I also had to renew my passport. Um, Not that I plan on going anywhere internationally, but it's still just kind of nice to have the passport because I looked like when Amy was going through all that, and I was like, I think my passport might have expired. And I went and I pulled it and I was like, fuck yeah, it expired in April. So I went and I renewed that. So I was eligible to renew it online. Easiest thing ever. It's like $130. It takes like 20, 25 minutes. You just have to like click through a bunch of questions, fill out a bunch of, short answer things, and then hit submit. And you're like, all right, cool. They're like, yeah, you'll get your passport in the mail in 4 to 6 weeks. It's like, all right, cool. Works for me.
Yeah, I had to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
I forget why. I forget if I was too young when I had the first one. I don't know if it's been too long since it expired because mine like lapsed.
Yeah.
Mine
It's, you
might have
get five
expired in
years,
okay, then that wasn't the problem. I might have been too young because
but
my last picture was from when I was 20.
so yeah, I think it's, if it hasn't expired more than 5 years ago, and I think it's like there is an age thing on
I
there
think
too.
so because it was only like it would have been 3 years. Like mine expired in
Yeah.
2020 and then I renewed it in 2023.
Yeah.
But I had to do a new picture and send it in and application, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michaela had to do hers for like name change shit. Fucking whole thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that was another thing too. They were giving Amy a bundle of shit for that because her passport was expired.
Yep.
Um, so she couldn't use that. But then she brought a birth certificate, right? So she has the real ID. So that counted as a thing. So you can use the real ID plus a birth certificate. Well, she shows up, she goes there, she gives the guy the stuff and he goes, "Oh, I can't process this." She's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, your name doesn't match your birth certificate." She was like, "Well, yeah, I got married." He was like, "All right, well, I'm gonna need to see a marriage license." So she had to come all the way back home, get the marriage license, go all the way back, give it to the guy, and he goes, okay, that works. And then
Yep.
processes everything. And then again, she gets it like 48 hours later.
Yep.
Less, probably like 36 hours later, she gets the fucking email. But yeah, the whole name change thing is a pain in the balls.
Yep. She's done all the real stuff. Like
Yeah.
she hasn't done credit cards or anything like that, but
Yeah.
um
But yeah, I mean, your birth certificate's one that doesn't change. Like you were born with that
yep.
name. So that's the name on this birth certificate.
Yep.
It's funny because when you hear too of people being like, "Oh yeah," like some people are weird about it. They're like, "Oh, what do you mean you're not going to change your last name?" Right? And like people immediately just go to like feminism, but it's probably, I mean, I'm sure that's probably 50% of it, but I would say the other 50% of it is like just pragmatism. Like women are just like, "Yeah, fuck that. I don't want to deal with all the stuff of like changing the name and everything that comes with it."
Yeah, it's a weird so that's a weird conversation to have though, because usually a lot of people want things to be like there's certain aspects that they want to be like traditional or like the more tried and true or whatever. And then it's
Yeah,
like, yes, I will recognize that changing your name is a pain in the ass.
right,
But also like that's the tradition, tried and true thing, whatever.
right.
Um, and yeah, again, it's like I get it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But like once it's done, was it really that much work?
Yeah, true.
Like really, like think
Yeah,
about it. Like
yeah,
annoying, yeah, but was it?
yeah, yeah.
Because I've found dealing with Comcast Business
Oh God.
to be awfully annoying.
Yeah, yeah,
At least like yeah, sometimes like Social Security, it's hard to get an appointment, or you have to go at a weird time. You got to bang out of work. What like yes, there are steps here. I get it,
right, right, right.
but I think sometimes when people like before they even like get into it, they say like, oh, I don't want to go through all that. Now, there's also some of the people that plan to, shit happens, and then something comes up. Because to protect the innocent, like for example, we know someone was going to change the name. Then all of a sudden it's like they moved, they were renting a place, that's out, like
Yeah,
you're changing residences,
right,
and then all of a sudden they're having a kid. Like,
right.
get to it when I get to it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, right. And that's a lot of times it's convenience, right, or a means
Yeah.
of inconvenience, right? It's like, listen, I just don't
Yeah.
have the fucking time to do
Yeah,
it.
like I'm not going to get to this right now.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
in that case, it's like, is it that important? Not if you've got other shit going on, like real shit going on. Like,
right.
don't tell me it's like, oh, I'm just like so busy.
Yeah.
Got a vacation coming up. Like, that's not quite it.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see. I got one more. Let's do one more and then we'll wrap this up. So this one's a little bit more topical here, but um the other day, so a few days ago now, by the time this comes out tomorrow, there was the whole uh Trump and Elon breakup, right? And like I don't really care to get into the whole politics
One
of that
sentence,
in
what happened? Because I
particular.
genuinely don't know.
Um,
One sentence. That's all you got.
they're not friends anymore.
Okay. One follow-up question. Was there an event or anything that specifically set it off? Or was this just like
Yes.
one day they all woke up?
The passing of Trump's big beautiful bill.
Okay, don't worry about. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah. Um, so the cliff notes there, right, is that Elon was like, "Hey, there's too much bullshit in this bill." And Trump was like, "Oh no, it's great. I named it the big beautiful bill." And Elon was like, "This isn't really what the Republicans said they were going to do. So I'm going to kind of pull my support." And then Trump went scorched earth on him. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to cancel all the EV um like tax relief credits or whatever and all this other stuff." And then Elon came out and said Trump was on the Epstein list. And like it was just hilarious, right? It was one of those monumental days on Twitter um where it was just banger after banger, right? They're both going back and forth on Twitter and then other people are commenting on it and I think it's great and all that stuff. So yeah, that's the gist of it, right? But my question is, does Elon Musk equal good now? If Orange Man equals bad all the time, and Elon equals bad because he's friends with Orange Man, if Elon hates Orange Man, does that make him good?
I'm guessing no, because I don't think forgiveness is in the ideals of the people that just go because like once they're against something, I think they stay against it.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
I
The
think
the
if you have an
left, like
example to dispute that,
the hardcore left is not a forgiving people. I mean, that
no.
was the whole shtick of how the Republican Party sort of gained steam back in 2015, 16, like that whole Me Too stuff, right? Like everyone on the crazy left wing was like, just to use an example, was the Aziz Ansari stuff. I know we've talked about it before, but like Aziz went on a really bad date and was super awkward and like got canceled because it was the height of Me Too, and it was like, oh, he's a piece of shit, he's terrible, it's awful. It's like, oh, what did he do? Well, he like did this stuff and well, did he did he force himself on the girl? No, but he was really inappropriate. And well, how was he inappropriate? Well, he did some stuff like, you know what I mean? It was one of those where the Aziz Ansari cancellation was totally unwarranted. Again, he went on a bad date and got canceled for it. And the people on the left were so like hell bent on canceling him. It was the people on the right that were like, hey man, let's find some retribution here. Like you're able to come and hang out with us and be a good person. And then that sort of like started that whole like forgiveness thing. So I do, that's actually a brilliant point. Ah, brilliant.
Oh boy.
Remember the old Guinness commercial?
Oh, I remember.
Um,
I was gonna say if I
um,
made a brilliant point, woof.
but yeah, I mean, that's something I didn't even think of, right? But it's true. Which is obvious because you don't say things unless they're right. But
Correct.
um,
That is correct.
yeah, the left is not very forgiving. So I
Well,
can't imagine
so
that
and I will
that's gonna
say,
go.
so yes, let's shit on them. Like that is the typical demographic. And it's the left that is interested in like they just go with the current sale, like whatever it is. Like there are some people on the left that critically think and think independently. They're
No,
just not
yeah,
the ones
sure.
yelling and screaming.
Yeah, I mean like the hardcore lefties, right? Like the people that are in the middle. I again, most people, right? I would say like 70-ish percent of people fall somewhere in like the reasonable middle, right? Like maybe you're like, center left and just dead center or center right, or you sort of lean one way on one thing and you think the other way on another thing. I think that's most people. I just think that we see most of the crazies because they're crazy.
Yeah, they're the loudest ones. So yeah,
Right.
I mean anyone that um would have been ready to cancel Elon and fuck up a Tesla. Like these are not reasonable people. Um, they're the ones that are also not a forgiving group.
Right.
So no, Elon Musk does not now equal good.
Right. Okay.
And actually, he is, I would say Elon Musk equals purgatory.
Yeah, because now everyone, all the Trump fans are going to hate him.
Right. Which, if you were, if all it took was for him to be buddy buddy with Trump for you to be in support of him, they're never going to go the other way. Like they're not going to
Right.
look the correct way either because
Right. You're in a
they're
cult.
also not.
If someone only liked Elon because he was friendly with Trump, like that's a cult. Like you're in a cult led by Donald Trump. Like you're not
Well,
in a political affiliation because all you need is one guy to say whether this person is good or bad, and that's immediately how you feel and you react. Like that's not like real life.
well, that's the thing. Like, you know how everyone always says, it's like, oh, if Trump says jump, you say how high. It's like, no, the people I'm talking about, he says and they're already in the air.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And those are, no, yeah, those are, and they're just as bad as the non-forgiving on the left. They're just the other side's
Right.
version.
Right.
It's no better, no worse, but still, there's a logical gap
Yeah.
missing from that mentality.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, it's interesting.
Yeah,
I saw
so
a
I'll tell you
funny
right now,
meme.
though, just a, I like Elon Musk more now
Same.
than I did, I don't know, 4 weeks ago, which I
He's
wasn't
the
really paying
one
attention four
person.
weeks ago. But I didn't like the shit that he was getting into, like, because he was kissing Trump's ass, and he's up on the
Yeah.
fucking stage, and it's like, dude, this is not like you weren't supposed to be this.
Well, because also like we were kind of sold a brand of goods from the Trump campaign. And again, I say it all the time. I voted for him this time around. It was the first time I voted for him.
Yeah, well,
But
given the
I
options, it was probably still the right call.
well, no, I
Like,
know that. But like I voted not so much again for him either. Because as a person, I think he's a fucking moron. Um, just in general. Like obviously he's intelligent because he's run multi-billion dollar businesses and had a massive media empire. And like that's the other thing too. People that call him stupid, like he's not stupid, right? He knows
no.
he knows what he's doing, right? But he's just kind of an asshole, right? He's a fucking loser, basically. So I was again outside of that, the reason why I voted for him was more so the narrative around it, right? When he said, I'm bringing in Kash Patel for the FBI. I'm going to bring in Tulsi Gabbard for the Director of National Intelligence. Bobby Kennedy is going to be, Bobby Kennedy Jr. The senior's dead. But Bobby Kennedy Jr. is going to be the head of Health and Human Services. It was like he ran on common sense for once, right? We had a politician run on common sense because he said he was going to give tax cuts to the middle class and he was going to cut government spending, right? He said he was going to protect the border, close the borders, protect the country, protect the people, which, as far as that goes, he's actually done that pretty well. And again, you say him, but it's not him, it's his administration, right? You have to always remember not to give the president too much credit one way or the other, right? Whether it's good or bad. Um, but they've done a pretty good job with the border, right? So far, I would say. Um, but the cutting the budget thing sucks. They haven't done a goddamn thing about it, right? They haven't released any Epstein information that they said
I'm
they would
trying to
do on day
find.
one,
I'm trying to
right?
find
Like
what day we're on.
we still haven't gotten the JFK files, like the rest of them, right? Like I don't know. Like there was a lot of things that he said he was going to do that's why people voted for him. And I think the biggest thing was to cut the government spending. Like when he said he was going to shrink the federal government, I'm on board, man. I say no more, dude. I'll vote for you. Right? You're going to make the federal government smaller? Yeah, sure. I sign me the fuck up. But he hasn't done that. And I think that's when Elon was like, hey, you're not doing like this bill that you're trying to pass isn't what you said you were going to do. It actually increases spending, right? It increased the deficit, which is why Elon was like, fuck this, I'm out. So, and then obviously we talked about it a couple weeks ago. He did the whole Doge thing, but he doesn't have the authority to cut these programs. He just basically did the research, provided the recommendations, and then Congress had to vote on it. And Congress voted no to not do any of the Doge cuts.
It's
So I
obviously
think,
making the Doge a waste of
right,
time and money.
exactly. Right. So I think Elon kind of saw this and was like, all right, well, fuck it, man. I'm out. I'm going to go back to running my billion-dollar companies. But I mean, apparently he put a poll on Twitter. He was like, should I start a new political party that represents all the people in the middle that actually want political change? And it was like an overwhelming yes vote on Twitter. Um, and he's the one guy that actually has not only like the wherewithal, but the money, the balls, right? Like this dude spent $44 million on fucking Twitter, right? Or I'm sorry, 44 billion, $44 billion on Twitter. Like he, he's got the money, right? He's clearly a good businessman. He's smart as fuck. So it gives me a little bit of hope that he's thinking about it, like starting a new political party. But I mean, I'll believe it when I see it.
Day 109. Did Cash Patel publish Epstein's list today?
Yeah,
The answer is no.
correct. Yep. So other than that, though, it was a monumental day on Twitter when all that was going down. It was pretty awesome. It was
I
up
must
there.
say,
It was a Twitter Hall of Fame day.
I am glad I missed it. Actually, Twitter has been a little bit of a fucking bigger cesspool the last
Yeah,
couple days.
yeah,
I'd say this whole week. It's been a little bit more of a cesspool.
yeah. So with that, you want to wrap this up?
We can wrap this up. Let's see which final thought I'm gonna go with. I'll go with this one because it's a little more topical. So I texted you guys on Friday.
Hmm.
So whenever my wife is not home for dinner, like on the weekends, because I prep otherwise. But when it's a weekend and she's not going to be home, usually I make the things that she does not like to eat.
Right,
Um, some of those things include olives. So one of the pastas I like to make is cherry tomatoes, olives, kind of just cook them up. The tomatoes break down, and then that's it. Like there's nothing crazy
right.
here. She just doesn't like olives, so I make that. I like olives. That's also a theory, right? Like in every
Yeah,
relationship,
the
someone
olive
likes olives and
theory.
someone doesn't.
That was from How I Met Your Mother, I
Oh,
think.
okay. Oh, so it's not a real theory. Okay.
It's from a TV show. Yeah.
Okay. Now something else, she typically doesn't like spicy. So I think there's a very similar breakdown in most couples. Someone likes spicy, someone doesn't like spicy.
Right.
I believe for all four of us in our chat, that is the case. And I know Vinny's not the spiciest guy, but I think he likes something
Right. Right.
in his girlfriend's not a spicy person.
Yeah, he told us
And
she thinks pepperoni is spicy.
and then when I was at work, it was funny that this it just timed out the same day. When I was at work earlier in the day, I was a woman. I mean, they've been up here for a while, but they're from Atlanta, like outside Atlanta. So she wanted to go to Kowloon for like years. So they're finally going, or they finally went. And I'm like, oh, do you like spicy stuff? She goes, I do. She goes, my husband doesn't. I'm like, well, there's got to be one.
Yeah.
So I was like, look into the Saugus wings. I go, I haven't had them. People rave about them. I don't know if they're spicy, not spicy. I go, I haven't been to Kowloon in fucking 20 years. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but yeah, I think there's always one, but that's not my final thought. My final thought is, is spicy food good or is it just rare? Because
Oh,
if we take that logic, right, where we don't really get it all
yeah,
that often, if we're cooking and eating the same food with someone else that doesn't like spicy, that means we're not eating it all that frequently.
right.
So, is it actually good? And I mean like when I say spicy, I mean fucking spicy, not like some
Okay.
heat.
Because my caveat was going to be it depends on the level of the
Yeah,
heat.
no, I mean like food that would be considered spicy.
Like I'm eating it and I'm fucking dripping sweat from my nose. Like as I'm
Like,
eating and look down, there's like sweat is dripping off of my nose.
yeah, because I go back to like this is the thing. I like spicy stuff, but
As do I, yeah.
in my age, I ain't pushing the limits on that.
No, no, no,
That's
no, no,
probably
no.
something I changed, I don't know, 15, 10, 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I
Like when
would
I was like a
say,
kid, it was like, yeah, light me up.
yeah, I would say by late 20s, I was probably like, I like spicy. I'll give it to, like, give me all you got. But like that stupid fucking Carolina Reaper thing, you can keep it, man. Like I'm good
Yeah.
with that. But like, again, from my mid 20s and younger, I'd have been like, oh, yeah, 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 give me the Reaper. Let's
Yep.
go.
Fuck me up. But
Yeah.
um, so I'd like to think that in my case of like the situation I'm speaking of, I think it's more that it's rare and less that it's actually good.
Yeah. So if you want to talk
And
about like real spicy to the point where it's like borderline painful, um, then that's not really like,
enjoyable.
yeah, it's not enjoyable, right? Like when we went to Wendell's and got
Yep,
the
that's what I
fucking
was thinking of.
like when
When I
we got the
skipped over
wrong
the three and a
sauce.
halves.
Yeah, yeah. And we're both sitting there like dying, like literally like face bright red, sweat
Yeah.
everywhere. It looked like I just ran a half
I
marathon.
literally was sitting there like how I did not know how to get out of that situation. That's what I
Yeah,
was like. I go, this food is I go, these wings are so fucking hot right now.
yeah,
And I don't know how to get out of this situation.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, there is an upper limit to it, right? Like it gets to a point where like when it's not enjoyable, like that's not good to me, right?
Yeah.
Like that's not good. I wouldn't call that good.
But the also like the disclaimer here though is obviously it's cultural, right? So
Right,
white people
right.
have a tolerance of almost nothing. Actually, I think some cultures are worse. I always remember a Instagram video and it's like okay, like how spicy do you want this? Like, 1 out of 10. And the guy asked, they go, "What nationality is the chef?" And they go, "Japanese." I don't know, whatever. I'm gonna mess up the first two. I don't know. Maybe it
Yeah.
might have been Japanese. He goes, 7. It's like Chinese. He goes 30. They go, actually, I just kidding. He's Thai, and you just see him like leaving. Like, what are you trying to fucking kill me?
Yeah.
So obviously, like Thai food has to be like crazy spicy. Like
Right.
real. I mean, like real Thai food. Like Thai chilies are fucking hot, aren't they?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They're nuts.
Um, and like Indian food can be really spicy. Obviously, I've
Yep.
seen some videos of that too. Like people trying to like skirt the like white people trying to like hide it, be like, oh, can I get like the
Yeah.
I think it was like, oh, can I get the chicken vindaloo, but like can you maybe like not make it so hot? And go just order chicken tikka masala. No, I don't want the tikka masala.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, I want the vindaloo. It's like, all right, I'll tell the chef,
Yeah.
make it a little less.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, give him the tikka masala sauce.
But so yeah, it was just a thought. Like again, it's like I like some, but even still, like definitely overdid it a little bit this weekend. Like
Yeah,
I had hot chorizo, I had the hot cherry pepper. That's what I was making. I made something with spicy chorizo and spicy chili pepper. Yeah, sorry, sliced hot cherry peppers, and actually it was fine to eat. It really was. And then I
yeah,
had buffalo chicken last night, and then I had some more cherry peppers today, and then all of a sudden it's like, stomach's kind of bothering me a little bit.
yeah. I got
Like, I
a
don't know,
minor
maybe
ulcer
maybe
developing.
because you never eat like this, jackass.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny.
So that's that. Like and that's my thing is like if you took like a standard buffalo, there's gonna be some variation in how hot it really is.
Right.
And like sometimes you just get the standard buffalo and I eat it and I go, that's warm, no problem.
Yeah.
Then you get the standard buffalo and it's like that was a little tame. I probably could have went up one.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Yep.
then sometimes you get it and go, that's hot.
Yeah.
It'll be fine, but that's hot.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's just like anything more than that though, and I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't want this shit. Like, trust me, I don't need any help drinking light beer at a fucking fast clip. I can do that anyway.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need to fucking have my mouth be on fire to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a good point. I would agree with you that it's
Something to think about.
there is a point of diminishing returns when it gets to
Yeah, and
like
it's like,
real spicy.
yeah, and I think for like most reasonable people, it's like you even if you can tolerate some of those like extras and
Yeah.
shit you got to sign a waiver for, it's like you don't like that. Stop it.
Yeah. Uh, all right. So my final thought is a fun one. So and it just kind of goes to show how insane working at a massive company really is, and how everything that needs to get done immediately, it doesn't. Right. So I'll let me just I'll tell the story and then it'll make sense. So this will be going on 2 weeks, right? So probably about a week and a half, roughly. One of the branches that we built out in San Francisco got broken into. Hey, big surprise, downtown San Francisco, right? So the our corporate security team, right, or physical security sent me the video of the person doing it. They walk up, it was like 8 o'clock, like the sun was still out. The person walks right up to the door on the branch. The doors open out and they're locked, but the guy leans into the door and presses it back so it moves back slightly. So it creates like a small gap in between the door. And he gets a crowbar in the door and he hits the crash bar on the door, like just that horizontal bar that you push into, like to open a door. He has the crowbar and he hits the crash bar, which disengages the lock on the door and it opens the door because that's how doors work, right? Like you hit that bar to exit. And then the door popped right open and he walked in the branch at 8 o'clock again in not broad daylight, but like mostly daylight, right? Like it doesn't really get dark until 8:30 right now. So I get that, right? And because it was my project, and they were like, hey, we need to fix this. So this was probably, I don't know, on we'll call it Thursday. Let me see if I can, what is today? Today's the 8th. This was probably on Thursday, May 29th, right? It was probably May 29th when I get that video. So it happened Wednesday night. So I spent all day Thursday trying to figure it out, talking to people. We're trying to get the door vendor out there and a locksmith to take a look at everything. All right, cool. So that happens on Friday. So then we go through and I'm like, all right, how do we start getting this scheduled? All right, let's get this, this, and this. Oh, and then we need a quote for the work. All right, cool. That's not going to get done today, at that time being Friday, right? So then you have Saturday, Sunday, and then you fast forward to last week on Monday. So by Monday, I get, you know, I get enough information where I can be like, all right, we can plan to move forward, but like I need to bring this to my security team because they're the ones that need to sign off on the solution. They're just going to add a lock on the bottom of the door and like drill a hole into the ground and then the lock will go into the ground. There's a lot of specifics on it with ADA regulations. You can't have things sticking out of the ground. So like this was the only option that we could really come up with. So we get it. And it's like, all right, cool. I got to bring that to security. They're like, all right, security goes, yeah, that sounds like it will work, but I need the specs for I need the spec sheet on the lock to make sure it's going to be like compliant with whatever they need to do. I'm like, all right. So then I go back to the architect who's working with the locksmith to be like, hey, I need the spec sheet, right, of this. Like, all right, cool, I'll talk to him. Then Tuesday comes by. Then Wednesday comes by. And I go, hey guys, like I need this. And he goes, all right, let me see what the hangup is. All right, cool. I finally get the spec sheet sent to me at the end of the day on Wednesday. I send it to my security team on Thursday. And by the end of the day on Thursday, right? So now we're on June 5th, right? It's a week and a day later, or a week after I saw the video, a week and a day after it occurred, the event occurred. So Thursday the 5th, right? I finally get the thumbs up. All right, cool, let's do it. Then I have to get the quote from the locksmith and I have to get that approved. I send that, well, I approve that, but I send it to my team to process for PO. Then we have to schedule the locksmith to come in. So then the GC that we run the locksmith through, the project manager that I talked to, he was off on Friday. So I couldn't get a hold of him. So I called the super, right? The superintendent for the job that we worked with. And he was like, he goes, yeah, I mean, I know that guy is off. But like I can try and reach out. I can figure out what we're doing, and then I'll let you know. That was Friday. Never heard anything. So they ordered the locks. We don't know if they have them or not. They might have gotten them on Friday. Like the locksmith might have them on Friday. They might be ready to schedule the install, but I don't know because the guy from the PM from the GC is on vacation and I don't have the locksmith's phone number, and the architect didn't have the locksmith's phone number. And the superintendent that I talked to said he would just handle it for me, but he's busy, right? He's got other projects that he's doing. So now tomorrow is Monday. I'm off, right? We're going to the golf tournament in Plymouth. So when I get back to work on Tuesday morning, it's going to be almost 2 full weeks after the break-in. And I'm going to be like, so what the fuck are we doing, guys? Like, do we have anything? Do we have anything? But again, this is life working for a major company, like a massive financial institution where everyone's like, oh, we need to do this, right? There was a break into the branch. We have to fix it. We have to get it done. We have to get it done now. It's like, okay, all right. Well, getting it done now means I need to get this person to approve it. I need to accumulate this information. I need to bring this to this other team that's not me, even though it's my project and I'm paying for it out of the project budget. I don't get to make the final say because the security team has to get involved. But then we also have to bring in the architect because the architect has to design it on the door and draw up the plans for the GC to do the work. And the GC has to bring in the locksmith and all this. And it's like, this is how things work. This is how things work in corporate America. And this is why nothing can ever get done, ever. Because someone can't just come to me and say, we need to get this done. And I go, okay, I'll just call the locksmith and schedule them for tomorrow to do it. You can't do it like that. It doesn't work like that. So here we are.
That's also because we are small. Like that's one of the things I struggle with is just like when people don't fucking answer me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, just fucking answer me.
Yeah. But a lot of times they're probably waiting on an answer from someone else.
Yeah, my project, but that's the thing though. My problems aren't that big.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
like
fair.
I'm going right to the person. I don't need anything. I need you to
Yeah.
fucking just get back to me. That's what I fucking need.
Yeah. And meanwhile, the whole time everyone's like, oh, how are we doing on the lock? Do we have it scheduled? It's like, well, we're waiting for the security team to approve it. Like, oh, okay, all right. How are we doing on the lock? Well, the locksmith should have it by Friday, and we might be ready to schedule next week. I submitted the quote for a PO so they can get paid, right? But The project manager for the GC is on vacation, and I have no way of getting in contact with the locksmith other than that. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So it's fun stuff.
Always is.
I should just have my intern do it.
Yeah. Come on, boy. We're gonna learn how to do nothing today.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. So thanks for watching. I can say that now because you're watching everywhere, unless you're still on like iTunes or Amazon or whatever you're on. But subscribe wherever you are. Um, like the show, rate it, review it wherever you are, YouTube, all that. Subscribe as well. Um, you get all the social medias on the screen. You can find us. And until next time, good night, everybody.